for these bad tweets. I mean, it's insane.
Well, another story out of London, ironically. Chris Martin of Coldplay cannot stay out of the news. His thing was to put two people, a couple, on the big screen, and we know what happened in Boston, Massachusetts. And now he's calling fans on stage. So he called these two young ladies on stage. He asked them where they were from, and this is how it went. Watch carefully here.
Where did you come from today? From Israel. Okay, well, listen. I'm going to say this. I'm very grateful that you're here as humans, and I'm treating you as equal humans on earth, regardless of where you come from or don't come from. Thank you for being here. We're grateful, and thank you for being loving and kind. Okay, and riding aside. And although it's controversial, maybe, I also want to welcome people in the audience from Palestine, because we have a belief that we're all equally human.
So there was another route he could have taken. He could have said, good evening, thanks for coming.
Yes.
And I'm sorry what your country's been through going back to October 7th.
He definitely could have
and
done
bring
that.
the hostages home.
Well, in Yiddish, we would call him a schmuck, because he is. I mean, the fact is that Chris Martin is a fool. I think that probably what happened is that because he is a rote liberal, he heard the boos on stage from the crowd of the fact that these fans were from Israel, and he decided that he had to now make excuses for the fact that these people were on stage. And so what, he's granting them their humanity because they're from Israel? He has to pat them on the head. Can you imagine if the situation were reversed? Let's say that these had been people who are from, for example, the Gaza Strip, and they came up on stage. Do you think for even half a second he would have said, regardless of their sympathies, if he had said, you know, I'm treating you as just a human up here because, you know, regardless of where, and also, hello to all the Israelis in the crowd. There's just no way in hell that ever would have happened. No. The only reason this is happening is because the left has decided to single out Israel for its ire, and that means to dehumanize people such that it's an act of generosity to actually have to humanize people from Israel, which is totally, totally insane. But unfortunately, the way this is going.
How would you advise young women like that? Because I imagine it was pretty humiliating for them. Now they're on stage. They're with the. They paid money to go to this concert. They obviously love Coldplay. They must have been excited to be called up on stage. And then I'm sure their hearts sank as they realized what was happening, and they tried to hold their head high in the moment.
I mean, first bad decision is to go to a Coldplay concert ever because Coldplay sucks. But beyond that, I think that the second thing is that, you know, it must have been really, really difficult for them, especially given the fact that Israel is an extremely small country. That means undoubtedly they have family members who are in harm's way or who were in harm's way on October 7th. And what that means is that, you know, I'm sure the temptation in the moment might have been to say something like, you know, I'm proud of where I'm from, and I'm proud of what it is that my country is doing in defense of our citizenry. They probably didn't have the kind of wherewithal to say that.
And
like I said, they just went to a music concert to have a good time. And again, there's a great irony to the fact that musicians, particularly, seem to have so much sympathy for a group represented by a government in Hamas, and a terrorist group in Hamas, that literally led this off by attacking a music festival in right outside the Gaza Strip.
Ben, thanks for being here. Good luck on the book.
Yes, the book is